Test on the mic 1, 2. Test level. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, everybody. We have a special show for tonight. Hi. Uh-oh. Hey, guys. Hello. What's up, Butterfly Angel? Hey, Julia. Thank you for being here. Oh, thank you. I'm about to take it off. I don't normally, like sometimes I forget to take it off when I go to bed. So I'd have to say I don't normally take it off, though you're supposed to, because I always forget. But I'm going to take it off tonight. It's all coming off. No, only my makeup's coming off. And listen, I forgot to tell y'all that I'm not going to be live in the morning. Tomorrow is my follow-up endoscopy. I forgot. My appointment's at 10. So at 10:30, I'll be probably already done and I'm on my way back on, but still. So I forgot to tell y'all that. So, Dana, I told my husband if I had to give it an overall rating, this is without the constant taking of the stomach coaters and the nausea meds, because I'd be still broken without those two. I'd give it about a 15% overall betterness. I hope that's a word. Improvement. Which is not where you're supposed to be, I don't think, after 3 weeks of treatment. So I'm a little bit concerned. Just a little bit. Hi, Heather. Heather's in here, and everyone, this is why we're here tonight. We are here to talk about the update in the Katelyn Harp case. So I'm going to give her an invite here so she can come on up to the panel. Hello.
Hey.
Just let me switch this layout here. There we go. Welcome in, everyone. If you could keep share it out. And whoa, why did I? Whoa, hold on a minute. How can I fix my lighting here? Something happened. Hold on a minute. The lights got to go off and then they got to come back on. I'm so sorry. There we go. So everybody keep sharing this and get the word out there. We have 3.7 thousand likes. We already have 93 souls in the room, but we need to have a whole bunches of souls in the room, because I'm going to give you a recap on what happened in this case. But on panel with me is the beautiful Miss Heather Lane. She is a twin sister of Katelyn Harp. How many, by show of hands in here, remember what happened to Katelyn Harp? I am going to give a quick, really like super quick recap. A lot of people do. Court Knight lives in Pennsylvania. Katie does, Miss Cheryl. Carolyn, I'll give you a recap here. Thank you for sharing the live, Butterfly. Thank you. Okay. So, first, let me say I am so honored, Heather, that you are choosing to come on my platform once again and tell us an update and give everybody an update. That means the world to me. And I'm so glad that you trust me with this and trust me to come on this platform. Thank you so very much for being here.
Hey, I appreciate it so much.
So hey Nancy. So I'm going to give everybody a quick recap. So Katelyn Harp, she was 33 years old. She vanished from Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. Remember this? It happened June the 19th, 2025. So what happened was her sister Heather, who they talk to each other every day. They send each other a selfie every morning to check in or to check in some form. And she hadn't heard from her sister Caitlin that morning, so she thought maybe she was busy. So around noon, she tried it again, but then realized she wasn't getting a response and that something was terribly wrong. And then realized that she hadn't been active. Her sister hadn't been active on the Book of Faith since around 7:30 p.m. the day prior. So this prompted her to call the police and say something's wrong. And so they started an investigation. Her sister Caitlin was married to a guy named Vinny Harp. And there had been some incidences in the past where there had been domestic violence, and Caitlin had come home to get away from him. So he was trying to spill to the police that she had left before. She left again when Caitlin's sister had reported her missing. Well, the police wouldn't really, I don't think they were buying it. And so they kept investigating. But I'm going to say this, though. The family stayed relentless. You guys remember how relentless the family was. We're going to find her. Something's wrong. Let's come together, friends and family, together as a group and go find her. And essentially, they did. It was 9 days, 10 days later,
Yep,
and
9 days.
9 days, and she almost, well, she did lead them there. And I watched the show that the daytime exclusive show that you were on, and because I
Yes.
was not aware of all the details of how your father found his own daughter at the bottom of that ravine in that box. He found the box.
Yep, 210 feet down.
And he said that what led him there or what kept him going in that direction was the vision of butterflies. And butterflies is one of you guys' symbol.
Yep.
And I, for some reason, I had envisioned in my mind that the whole group of folks that went to look for her, friends and family, maybe all looked over the edge at the same time and saw the box.
Well, it's
But
like so my dad had called me. Like so my fiance and I were at the top of the hill
mhm.
and we stayed at the top searching this and I could still see my dad going down. But as we came out the other end and started walking back towards my dad, I could no longer see him. But that's when he had called and everyone else is in the surrounding area. So as he calls and tells me to call the police, we're all running down the cliff. He stops us about halfway. My fiance makes it to him. Then, as we're all making it down there, he stops us all and says, "You don't want to go any further. I know it's her." And I already got off the phone with the police. So, the first thing I did was I ran out of that cliff and went to the middle of the cornfield so the helicopter that was there prior, like 10 minutes earlier, could come back to see where we were located.
can I show them the picture that was shown on the show?
You sure can. And that was the only picture we got. He took it right before he started heading up. and he didn't want us all going down because he didn't even, at that point, he didn't know it was a locked box. It was on the other side to where the cliff was too steep, and we didn't know it was locked until the detectives came and brought it up and had to cut it off.
I'm going to share this photo. Trigger warning. Um, it's a photo of the box, and Katelyn, now we know, was inside at the time. It's hard to talk about for me. I can't imagine y'all, but I know that you're doing it in the name of justice for your sister.
We sure are.
And that's what brings you here tonight. Now, Vinny Harp, everybody, was taken into custody. He remains in custody. And there is an update on this case. And I'm going to go ahead and let Heather tell you the update, and then we're going to talk about the things that she's going to tell you.
So first off, 3 days after he was incarcerated, he contacted our detectives and told them he wanted to tell them the stories. Brought him into the station, or they met him at the jail, whatever they do. And he told them that night they were both doing whippets, inhalants, and that Katelyn was the only one doing it with a bag over her head. They blacked out. When he woke up, he said that she was already blue and her tongue was sticking out of her mouth. So then he claims that he picked up all the whippets and all the evidence, put it in a bag, sprayed it with Lysol, and he discarded it along with all her stuff, which till this day has not been found. And he's been taken to some of these locations, and he says he was too messed up to remember where exactly the spot is. But the toxicology reports came back, and there was no gas, no drugs except for the drugs she was prescribed. There was no alcohol. He told me that night she stayed up drinking a half a bottle of vodka and Kool-Aid, and he went to bed and woke up to that text message. No alcohol. There was small amounts of nicotine and small amounts of caffeine, and that was it. But the cause of death is still undetermined, and it'll forever be undetermined, because they said how her body was being in that box in the 100-degree weather for 9 days, it was like she was burned in a fire. So she had no broken bones, no fractures, no stabs, and no gunshots.
So here's where I see a problem, is he could get out.
They said this is good. Some of it is good, but they're not sharing with us. And of course, I haven't even spoke to them. So I won't know anything until court comes. Whatever happens, I will find out in court.
It is extra heartbreaking to know that after she was discarded like trash in a metal box,
Yes.
that her
Yep.
body was then continued to be hurt. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, but I know that she was already in heaven by that time, and there was no pain. But
yeah, she was. Yeah.
It's hard
Now,
to
like
think
on
about.
the certificate, it does say like homicide. It will always be homicide, and it is intent or harm from another person.
Okay. I just don't want
So
him
I
to
don't
get
think,
off on a technicality like, well, there's no
I know, and he was
drugs in their
also
system, there's no broken bones, etc.
nope. Yep, because I know he strangled her.
There's no
But
other
also he was also
way.
moved.
Is there no other way to tell from strangulation, um, other than the top of the skin?
Apparently not, because she didn't have no more skin on her neck. So the only skin that basically was left on her body was on her butt, and that was how the detectives identified her, was from a tattoo on her butt. So she was in like fetal position in this box, upside down. So whenever the box fell down and the way we found it, she was upside down. Now, see, the detectives, of course, at that point, we didn't look in the box because we couldn't. My dad came right up the hill and sent us all up. So when we called them, they were still like not sure if it was even her. And they made all of us move, everyone in the group move, and they blocked it off with cars and everything. And then they brought this box up, and we could hear them cutting with the saw, cutting the lock off. And we see the two white detectives with white shirts walking over and asked me and my parents to walk over. And I knew right away, like, you guys think I'm dumb? Like, what? Why else is a box going to be in the middle of the woods and it smells like death on his property? Like, come on,
Right,
dude. Like,
right. How Tell us how your relationship with the police department and the detectives are right now. Are they being
it's worse than it
forthcoming?
was. I know they have the regulations where they can't tell me everything, and I've been so loud with it on social media. But if I wouldn't have done that, it wouldn't have gotten this far. State police wouldn't even picked it up if they wouldn't even know of listening to Brittany. It was Brittany, Vinny's sister, Caitlin's best friend, that got it to the state police. And that's what, like, but now it's like, I can't, they won't even talk to me. They don't tell me nothing just because they don't think they can trust me.
There's a, I don't know the levels, the normal levels of the medication that she was on versus the levels that were found.
Yeah, and that's one thing that they have to look into, because they didn't know, like, how whenever a person passes and they're on the medication and for how long she was on it, what her levels would be. So, and I don't even know if I'll ever know that information since they're not speaking to me. But I mean, I've done my own research, and I really haven't been able to find much on it. But I would assume they're going to use that something in court against it.
Did they mention at all when his, because a lot of people, like for example, there's a case going on in Georgia right now where the judge is like, okay, this is your charges, and now in January, and you just did this like allegedly 4 months ago. This is when the first trial date is going to start. Has he put in a bid for or a notion for a speedy trial or anything to do with a speedy trial? Or do you know anything about that?
I have no idea. I know this past Thursday he was supposed to have court, it was just for the lawyers on Zoom for his charges or something like that. But of course, they're not in contact with me, and I have not gotten no update. So I think he continued it and pled not guilty, since that's what he's been doing from the gate. But honestly, I don't know. I haven't gotten a date, nothing.
If he had woke up and found her and assumed that we're talking about in a different universe here because we know this is not what happened. And if he
Right.
thought something, she had passed for natural causes or something that was not nefarious, he would have called 911.
Exactly. And he was trying to say in court that he didn't call 911 because when she OD'd before and he called 911, they told him if anything else would ever happen, she would OD. And he had the same drugs in his system, that he would be held accountable. But she came and they helped her. So it's not like,
Right.
yeah, and even Whippets, she didn't even like them. That was his thing, in which I've sent numerous videos of her recording him all messed up on whippets since the last 2 years. That's when he would get the meanest with her, is when he was on them.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I don't even think the whippets were involved when he killed her. I think it was just his own rage, and then the whippets afterwards. I know there was whippets afterwards because where he was staying, and when he was picked up, there was whippets everywhere.
Mm.
But there was none found in the house because he claims he got rid of it and sprayed it with Lysol, and that's what the detective said. How are you gonna get rid of evidence and then say you didn't do it?
Do you have the actual, did they give you a copy of the autopsy report in your hands, or did
No,
they just tell you about this?
they just told me about it.
And I bet you they wouldn't give it because it's an ongoing investigation.
Exactly. And I have also asked him for all the factual pings and timelines of where he was seen on every single route. And the detective acted like whenever he had that information that he would give that to me, but he hasn't. Like, I want all the pictures, I want all the evidence, and I know they're not going to give that to me or they don't want me to see that, but I can handle it. Like, I was expecting her to find that. We didn't know about a box, until after we found the box. So we were expecting her just to be out there.
Airboat, I thought the same question that just went through my mind is I thought that family had some rights to see or have a copy of the autopsy report, even if there's an ongoing investigation.
Yeah, and then whenever we were supposed to have the death certificate within 48 hours after the autopsy, because we needed to get on it with our lawyers, because Vinny signed his POA over to his baby mama Mal, who also has his kids, and they're selling everything in the house. We got all of Katelyn's belongings, but like the furniture that they bought together and all the furniture in the house, they've been selling. And our detectives knew that we were waiting on the death certificate for our lawyers because that's what we were waiting on. And it's like they took forever just for us to get that. Now they can't trust me. So that's probably another reason too why they waited so long.
Mm. Hannah's saying, no, they don't. They have no paperwork for her uncle's unaliving and won't until after trial. That, I guess that was the other part of, do we have an indication when trial will begin? Because I feel like we're not going to know everything until they come out with the discovery. Um,
Yeah.
no
And
broken
at this
bones. And
moment,
is there a bone in the neck that usually gets broken, and it was not broken?
now, like, okay, so I know I'm not crazy, and my parents were also on the call, on the original autopsy call, and
Hmm.
he was saying something about strangulation or I can't remember his exact words. And then when we asked him, when he said that the cause is always going to be undetermined, we're like, well, didn't you say this? And he's like, no, no, no. And I'm just like, I know we're not crazy. I know he strangled her. I know exactly. I know he did.
How can
I
he
feel it in my
determine
bones.
now? How can he determine now that it's going to be always undetermined?
I know, because
You
then he also
can't
said
look
that they're
at the
still waiting
future.
on. Exactly. And they also said that they're still waiting on some other test results to come in. But what other test results are there if you're going to, if it's always going to be undetermined?
Hmm.
Makes no sense.
And plus, they're not the medical examiner. It's up to the medical examiner to determine cause of death, not the police.
Yeah.
I'm just upset that they would take, you know, even if they think in their mind, boy, this is never going to be changed. Why take that hope away from families and really just stab them in the heart like that when you don't know for sure?
Exactly. They don't know. They didn't know anything this whole time. We led them to everything.
Do you think that Vinny has gotten the autopsy and toxicology reports by now?
I was wondering the same thing, and before the detectives didn't trust me anymore, he said that unless they his lawyer would ask for it. He wouldn't know that information until discovery. But Vinny has heard and I know he's been trying to find out what the results are. He's been asking around. And he's also, I know he did have a public defender, but now he's trying to sell everything because he needs cash money for a lawyer that will take him.
Yeah, this is going to be bigger than what a public defender can handle. Um,
Exactly. Yep.
and that's why
See, he
they're
did have a
and
lawyer in the
here
beginning, but they dropped him when
here
we found her.
can he legally can they legally be selling this stuff? Isn't that the estate of your sister part of that? The
Wait,
furniture
what was that?
and this can they legally
That's what
be
I,
selling everything because it's the estate of and that's got to be settled in probate.
and also it's a crime. It was a crime scene, like, and it's her and Vinny. So I don't understand how she's able to control anything of what's in their name.
Hmm. Oh my gosh,
And then the
Michelle says I'm
detectives,
okay.
whenever my mom spoke with them, the detectives acted like they didn't even know they were selling this stuff. But
Well,
the detectives
they
also
need to
didn't know that Vinny was moved.
every state is different as far as probate. Isn't that the area you work in, or is it real estate attorney, Dana? I just know that in my both of my husband's parents and our 5-year-old nephew were killed in a car accident in 2014 in Alabama, and we couldn't do anything with the estate until it went to probate court. Probate and real estate paralegal. So this is going to be Pennsylvania. You're in South Carolina, Dana. So I don't. It must be different from state to state. I would check the laws in Pennsylvania, and ask a local, get a probate lawyer to get that stopped before they, because if anything they bought together, everything is. I know here in Tennessee is communal property once you get married. Um, So even his machines are half hers. His vehicles are half hers and should go to her estate. And then that gets automatically divided between parents and siblings. Michelle says Arkansas has to go through probate unless both names are on it. Well, if anybody's in Pennsylvania that knows the rule to that or knows or somebody that can direct us the rule, because I feel like there's rights that are being violated here.
Yeah, we just got our lawyer just got the death certificate yesterday, and that's what he needed to be able to move forward and get information for himself. And we needed two separate lawyers. We got one for estate and then one for wrongful death.
The rule pit bull in regards to if someone passes away of a married couple, especially in suspicious circumstances, can the person in behind bars then sell off everything that's left in the estate, the furniture, the vehicles, the side by sides, the whatever's that he's got, houses, land? Doesn't it all have to be? They were married. Doesn't it all have to be? Doesn't it all have to go through probate, or can you just do whatever you want? Thank you. You can. Did you look up the rule? That's horrible. If it's a mayor, I'm pretty sure. I wouldn't think that would be legal anywhere, but I don't know. I'm from Kentucky. You'd be shocked.
I'm not shocked with anything.
Yeah. 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 I would definitely look into your rights. He can't sell everything that they own together to take care of his legal fees because he's accused of taking her life.
And that's what I was also told about, like the Slayer Act should come into to play for all that, and everything should go to her. I'm not even worried about everything. I just want the stuff that she owned in his name, with, well, her name.
Right. And most importantly, for any kind of evidence, you
Yep.
know, I'm not. You're not. I don't know if you're familiar with the Emmanuel Haro case. It's a case that's going on right now out of California. It's a 7-month-old baby that is still missing, and his
Yeah, I've been
parents have been
following.
arrested. Um, they did not tape that house off, and they are letting people, the owners, which I think is his mom and his stepdad, move back in. They were letting, within a couple of days, people were giving true crime tours in the house. Just did not preserve
Wow.
any kind of evidence whatsoever. The child is still missing. It's just like in the Idaho 4 case. They tore down the house. And I know it would needed to be tore down, but I feel like the jury should have had the right, though we never made it there, to walk through the house if given that chance. Or maybe they missed something. I just hate that this is going on and that evidence could be destroyed. Um, how are your parents doing? Because when I was watching this show, my heart, because I remember when we first talked, you guys were in the car together on the way to the police station. And I look back at that now, looking at how strong you must have truly, truly, truly been to be able to talk to a complete stranger in a car with your parents on the way to not knowing what in the world is going on. Super, super brave. And I appreciate you for that. And I've thought about
Yeah,
y'all, especially your parents, ever since then. How are they doing? I know that's a dumb
they're
question.
okay. No, they're okay. They're just trying to get it out there and like going. We were on this show, and that is really out of their comfort zone. But the only reason they did it was for Katelyn. Like, she would have been so proud of them. Like, that is not their thing.
Yeah, I could tell they were a little shy. And then your mom, um,
Yeah, yeah. We've been still hard on like looking at maps and looking back at stuff. And we're actually going this week to Bloomsburg because I have to get the title for Caitlin's car and um, going to do some searching again.
tell them what show you were on. And you can find it on the Big YT. I watched, it's in 2 parts, and I watched both parts today.
Yeah, it was the Tamron Hall show. And also, there will be an article. There'll be a magazine. People Magazine will be coming out with an article probably this week or next week, which goes real into depth with the story.
And I loved to hear that. People Magazine is great. I
They
can't
are
wait
amazing.
for
Yes.
them to publish more of the story. I can't wait. I want this to stay in the news because we have to come to a point, country, where domestic violence, as time goes by, it's getting more and more overlooked, in my opinion, because of police corruption,
Yes.
transparency, um, a corruption even as far as covering up. Think about the Micah Miller case and how many police phone calls were made, and they would just end every police report ended in, well, it's fine, everything's fine, pretty much, not verbatim, but and it wasn't
Right.
fine. Micah Miller was screaming to the top of her lungs, he's doing this to me, he's stalking me, I'm trying to tell you to help me, and there just wasn't the resources there to help her. And they say on average it takes 7 times for a woman to leave a domestic violence situation. And
She was
sometimes
about
they don't.
close to it. I can remember about 5 times that were real serious, and I thought this last time was it. I really did, but
April Dawn says it took her so many times. I saw the beautiful memorial that you guys done for her and the butterflies, and um, I have to say it was absolutely beautiful. I know that she is looking down from heaven right now, just absolutely so honored and proud to be your sister and to have her family stand up for her and continue to fight for her.
She'd be so proud. I know. I feel it. I feel her so strong still.
Did they tell you about the toxicology? Did they show the report, or did they just kind of tell you about it?
Yep, they just called us on the phone with the DA and the detectives, and they had it 2 days for 2 days until they actually told us because one of them were on vacation, but we were all on a phone call and they told us everything.
Do you think there's some parts of that they have not told you, or any part of their autopsy report that they have not told you about?
Absolutely. There's going to be a lot that comes out in court that I do not know about. And they've been hiding stuff the whole time. The whole 9 days we only met with them the first time. State police took the case, and then it was like in the middle, so it was probably like day 5. Me and my parents went the whole way down to Bloomsburg, and it was basically just to tell them everything we had because they had nothing and they were stuck. And at that point, we were stuck too. We went back to the drawing board, and the very next search day, we found her. And what's crazy is they said that they were up there that morning of just with 2 police officers. And then after searching for her stuff, they said that the only place they didn't search was the cliff. Now, even after we find her there, why wouldn't you go and search the cliff? Because it's too dangerous. But like my parents are like 60 years old and they went down that cliff, no problem. It was a struggle, but they still made it.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And then even searching, when we went back to search, my dad and us we all went back down to the spot where she was at, found a pair of handcuffs that the cops must have dropped. We didn't find none of her stuff, but so we were trying to see like different routes or if he went a different trail, because about 100 feet, probably about 200 feet from the opening to go down, there's a trail cam right there that was in my face the day of when me and my fiance came down the other end. And I guess it's his brother's trail cam, but from where it's located, it wouldn't see where the truck had went in. But if Vinny was back there on the trail cams or anything, hiding her stuff, maybe he could have been seen then.
Uh-huh. Did they talk about whether or not they've subpoenaed the footage?
I guess his dad went up and got it. The last I known, whether the detectives went and got it from him, I have no idea.
Oh man. This is the Katelyn Harp case, Sassy. We have 23,000 likes and 179 souls in this room. Let's see if we can make 30,000 likes. We are talking about an update in the case, which is they have learned about the toxicology results. The takeaways from that really is that he tried the things that he said happened to her. And again, this is indicative of somebody having something to hide. Did not happen. He said that there was a gas incident. There was not. He said that there was drugs involved. There was not. He says that they drank all night. They did not. She did not. I don't know about him, but she did not. And so if you are talking about all of those things and you put them all into perspective, it sounds to me like he's got a whole bunch to hide.
Oh yeah, and his story changed every time.
Every time. The story changed every time. And I'll tell you, I had gotten on a panel not long after you were on my show of somebody on this app. And the somebody on this app had been a paralegal for 30 years. And first time I had been on our panel, so I was just kind of up there talking about this case. And I said, his sister told me that he keeps changing his story. And then the paralegal stopped me and said, "No, wait a minute. You only want to state the facts. Now, I know people, they'll get upset and tell you what they think. And I just kept thinking, well, that's rude, because the one person I'm going to believe is her twin sister. The family knows when something's wrong. The family
Right.
knows. They can feel it, sense it. They investigate it a lot better than the police most of the time. Um, you know who I'm talking about. And if you was in there, I was sure you saw me didn't hardly say nothing for the rest of the panel because I was like, really? Because I allow the families to speak. I'm ready to throw down. I allow the families to speak on my platform, and I trust what they're telling me because they're the ones that are going through it.
Exactly. Amen. Amen.
In fact, that was the facts. In fact, he did change his story. And in fact, we know that now proven many different ways, especially with this toxicology report. Throw down. I hate because when you go on people's panel, there's a level of respect, and I definitely was not respected that night as a content creator who has a reputation for not repeating facts that can't be proven. What's next, Heather? I know you're still mourning, you're fighting. You just wait. You're just waiting for somebody to call now at this point with more information.
Yeah, basically. And keep getting the story out there and continue to search for her stuff. We may never find it, and I've came to terms with that, but just like it's not as I don't want to find it as much as I wanted to find her, but I'm still going to keep looking and just hope. I guess that's the hope I got because I know her phone has everything in it, but even like her purse had everything in it. And that's about it.
The area around where she was found, I guess you guys have searched those areas for those
Yes.
items.
Yep.
Has the area around the home been searched? I'm sure.
Yes. Yes. And there's been a couple searches done by PSP that Vinny took them or showed them or told them that he took the stuff from. I don't think it's in any of those places because why would he tell you where it's at? You know, this whole time he's just leading you guys on a chase. And even me at some point, maybe not so much, but a little bit with moving her. Like if we would have been down there that very night, we could have maybe caught him moving her from Shade to Harp. But that's besides the point. But even him, like with the article and the reward that he put up, he was just following my lead the whole time.
Have they searched the area where they pulled the side by side out of, quote unquote, that he had them film it on purpose?
They claim they did. Now, to be honest, I've never even been to that spot. To this day, I've never even been to where the truck was stuck. I was at the beginning of the lane, but that was the day that PSP was posted up there with the dogs, and that's when they found the drag marks to 100 feet, and then they just stop. And he claims he laid her up against a tree, and then that's when he came back and got her, because when he was leaving, he got stuck. And then he went back and got her, and that's when he took her to Harp that evening.
God help. Can you give us a description of her phone, make and model, and the kind of case it had on it in case somebody's watching and, you never know. And I'll post this on Big YT.
Yeah, it was just, it was an iPhone 14, and it just had a black OtterBox on it.
Okay.
The screen wasn't protected, so it didn't have like the full one, but it just had like the back sleeve. Yeah, like that.
Okay.
It was just all black. And her purse.
Now
it was
go ahead.
Her purse was just a black Michael Kors purse. But honestly, he said that she took clothes with her, totes. And then whenever Hemlock came in and Vinny was just saying that these totes are gone, that he comes back out and he's like, there are some missing, but how would you know to begin with how many were there from how many are missing now? So I'm not sure what else is missing other than just her purse, her medication box, and her phone. Now there's a lot of stuff that we didn't get that he could have discarded, but it could have just been taken by the family.
They're asking if she had Find My Phone turned on.
When her phone, I thought she did. I could have, whenever we set up the Life 360, that I also set up to find my iPhone. So, like, if it was dead or something, we could still find it. But I haven't been able to get into her iCloud to be able to try to find it. It's sending a code to her phone, which I don't have. Now, I don't know if the cops have. They were supposed to get warrants for her Snapchat, Facebook, and all that. So if they found it, I don't know.
The police can get a warrant for the phones. Yes.
They
And I
got
hope that
they
they
did
do.
get the phone information.
Yeah.
And the last ping was Caitlyn's was at 9:25 that night. And my Life 360 with her was shut off at 7:30.
Uh, I'm trying to think.
So I don't
I'm
even know
trying.
how that makes sense.
I'm trying to think why. I mean, other than I guess I get that he was trying to make it appear as if she left on her own by not having the phone and the purse accessible, like not laying there when the police walked in, so he would have a reason to say, "Well, look, her stuff's gone, so she's gone."
Right.
Have they thought about, not that I'm the all one knowing here, but it's just things that we come across in every single. It's a lot of repetitive behaviors by these psychotics. Have they checked the landfill? Did he throw it in the garbage or the dumpster? Have they checked the local landfills? And I know it's a needle in a haystack, one phone, one black
Well, at
purse.
one point, there was somebody that called the detectives and said that they seen Vinny throwing something in a dumpster at a car wash that morning of. Whether they went and checked it, I don't know. There's a lot they're hiding from me because I've been so open about it.
Right.
And they'll even tell me places that we should go search, which doesn't even make any sense to me because why are you telling me when you have the means to get a whole search party out there to search for it? But it's because they're not wanting to find her stuff as much as what we are. Because they think just getting the warrants for her iCloud and blah, blah, blah. But I know whenever I save photos to my iCloud or something, it's not always there.
No, it's not. I mean, I can show you that right now.
I
I
know. Like, there's a
have,
lot of stuff whenever I sign into iCloud, is not, the photos aren't there.
they're not there. I mean, look at, and there's no way, y'all know there's no way I could have this many photos on my phone. 81,754 photos are on my phone. So, and this is something that I've really learned about iCloud. When I go log into iCloud, I'm expecting to see 81,000 photos, but they're not there. It's kept
Nope, they're not.
track of how many photos I've taken since the invention of the iPhone, but they're not there because I've tried. I'm like 80. Think about how many pictures that it is. So it's not there. It's here, and don't ask me why that happens that way. It just is. The phone's important, and for them to act like it's not, or to not put the searches for the phone a priority, is shocking to me.
Me too.
Uh,
They
especially,
claim they're still doing all that, but whether they are, I hope so. But
I hope they are. Uh,
me too.
it could even be, sometimes my husband and I text from room to room. Kids and parents do it, and so there might be text messages on there between them from room to room, maybe the leading up to in the days to, or the day of, even in that night, that really tell the story. Now,
Yep.
wasn't there other children in the home at the time?
Yes, his two children were there at the time, which whenever the Hemlock police showed up the day we were searching, they went in there whenever he was showing them the totes and stuff and said that the kids were sleeping and the house was immaculate. I'm like, well, yeah, because Caitlin cleaned and they just moved in not even 2 weeks ago, but the kids were sleeping and it was like 6 o'clock in the evening. Yeah, make it make sense.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's not their normal bedtime,
Nope.
6
Caitlin said they would
p.m.
be up all hours of the night gaming and stuff. And at this point, it's summer.
Sounds like premeditation to me. Did he force them to go to bed at an oddly time like that?
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it.
Mhm. Does he have any family involved with the police? April Dawn is asking.
His baby mama, I heard, is, and that's who has his kids, who he signed his POA over to. That bitch. I hope she's on here and she's listening. Someone find her.
Listen, you are free to say anything you want to, uh, and I can't even begin to understand your situation. So let it out, sister.
And I heard he was an informant for Hemlock. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I don't know what to believe, to be honest. I just keep digging and digging and I'm going to continue until I know I'm as close and feel as I'm close to it as I can be.
I'm just kind of reading the comments. Do you guys have any questions that you want to ask Heather that maybe you had in the first live or that you've thought of during this live? Thank you for using your stickers, Holly. Sassy says, I could not imagine the unknown.
That would have been the worst if not finding her those first couple of days was the unknown. And like I was speaking, like, so the first day that I was on my way down there, so I was headed to the house. And at that point, because I told him, well, if she sent you that message, you need to go to Verizon and see where she sent it from. I said, because her phone's been off since 7:30 last night because he didn't know I had Life 360. And he was supposed to be at Verizon whenever we showed up to the house. We go to the house, we search around, we didn't find nothing, we knock on the door, nothing. So we start heading, we're like, all right, let's head to the police station and see what the fuck, because we just called you the day before, we still have no update, she's still not here. On the way to police station, my mom was like, someone's following us. We didn't think nothing of it. We go to the wrong police station, so then we head to the other one. As we pull into the parking lot, my mom's like, well, that's the vehicle that was behind us. As we're walking in, it's Vinny standing there showing the cop on his phone that Verizon just told him that that text message didn't come from Caitlin's phone. And I'm like, I just told you this, Vinny. It would have updated Life 360 if she sent a text message.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he said her car was home and it wasn't. And that's when we had to be separated because you just told me it was there. And when we got there, it wasn't. And then that's the last I talked to him for 3 days. And I messaged him on that fourth day. And I'm like, why don't you just tell us where she is? You already took her life. The least you could do is tell us where the fuck she is. I said, were we close? Did you move her? I know you moved her, you sick motherfucker. The bugs are out there eating her and you're just sitting there living your life. And I was coming at him. He was still like, we should be working together, blah, blah, blah. You're sick-minded to think of that. You dumb motherfucker.
Working
Now you're sitting in jail.
together.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Every day for until we found her. Said, were we close today? I know you're watching me. And then he's like, I'm going to be done responding. And he would still respond. And I'm like, see, I said, you can't even hold your tongue. I said, you couldn't stop yourself. I said, you probably tried to save her. I said, you probably did. I said, but then your rage just controlled you. I said, then you started going crazy because he was still wearing the same clothes that I seen him the first day as he was whenever he was picked up.
Mm.
I wish I had just smacked him there that day.
They're asking, do you know any time about like a next court date? Do you know a date or anything about the next court
I
date?
have no dates.
Okay. I can check too, but I haven't heard. Normally everybody will let me know, hey, they've heard, and I've not heard anything. Did they
Nope,
talk
I
to
haven't
the
either.
kids? Raylan's asking, did the police talk to the kids?
No, they haven't. And in the beginning of all this, I asked them if they talked to the kids, and they said we should. This was before we found her, and they said no, but we should be able to talk to them without him because at that point there was no foul play. I was told they talked to them, and they were there all night whenever they questioned Vinny after the state police picked it up. But whenever I talked to Brittany, she said that no one has talked to the kids.
Tara says she's my cousin. She does have a mouth on her. She's an amazing woman. She's a fighter. Amen to that. Yes, she is. I would want Heather on my side. I tell you what, Leisha, probably the best thing is if you can Google the Katelyn Harp case. That's the case that we're talking about, and this is Heather, the twin sister of Katelyn Harp. I'm trying to see. Has anybody got any other questions before I let her go? The main takeaways from this is that the police are being shady AF, which I don't like, and the toxicology results are in and prove that most of what he said, or if not everything, is a lie. Everything's a lie. And then the phone and the purse are still missing. And the children have not been interviewed, which to me is huge. They usually get child psychologists in there to do that sort of thing, but they do it.
That's
Katie
what I
wants to
would.
know, are
Yeah.
donations being accepted towards lawyers at this time? Are you guys accepting donations?
I mean, we never really thought about it.
I would think about making a GoFundMe for, or I don't know what sites are out there that does that sort of thing. I know that they vary on fees, so a lot of people don't like the GoFundMe on lawyer fees because I don't know. You need one right now because I feel like her evidence is being sold, quite literally.
It literally.
Yeah, just take it on down to the auction block. Everything's fine over here. God, what do people think?
That's what I want to know. They don't think that's the problem.
Katie says, yes, I'm sure lots in her area would be willing to donate to help. And then Sassy says they also have organizations that will help victims. That's interesting. So I forgot to tell you all, since y'all are in here, that I won't be live in the morning. I'm having the second endoscopy. My stomach line is literally bleeding. No one panic. So I'm having my follow up tomorrow. We're trying to combat it with antibiotics. That's not working, but we're still working toward that, and I'm getting better and better every day. So I told you I was going to be live again in the morning. I am not. My next time to be live, today's Wednesday. No, today is Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Is going to be Thursday morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thursday morning, not tomorrow. So if you wake up tomorrow at 10:30 and you're like, "Where's Stephanie?" She's asleep in the procedure room. That's where I'm at. All right, Miss Heather.
Well, I hope that all
Thank
goes
you.
well.
Yeah, I hope so. I have a lot of autoimmune stuff, and it takes a hot extra
Mm.
second for my body to get over stuff, but we make it. I just tell my body, listen, we gotta live on the earth together, so we gotta get along. Me and you, we're not gonna
We gotta
make it.
get along.
Miss Heather,
Hey,
I'm
I appreciate you
so
having me.
appreciative that you are choosing me to give updates. You are welcome any time. All you have to do is send me a message and say, "Are you ready?" And then I'm going to say, "We
I
ride
sure
at
will.
dawn."
Yeah, once I get a court date or anything new, I'll definitely let you know.
Thank you. And of course, I'll keep you all updated. Everybody's praying for you. Throw up some hearts for her and her family and her sister, that her sister gets justice. And the one thing that the police department don't like is for media fire to stay under them. And in order for, because it holds them accountable. So in order for that to keep happening, we've got to keep Katelyn's name in the media, spoken on social media platforms. This is independent journalism where it's at, folks. It's hard to wait on Dan Rather these days, if you know what I'm saying. Maybe you're not old enough to remember him. I don't know. But we all used to have to wait to 8 o'clock at night, or 6 p.m. for the evening news. And now we've got the power of social media, which helps to bring out and expose the truth, especially where corruption is involved. I'm praying for you and your family forever
Thank
and
you.
for
So much love to
always.
you
If there's
and
anything I
everybody
can do
else.
for you personally beyond this, please let me
Okay.
know. If I can help you in any way, I certainly will. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Heather. Thank you. You guys know, you're making it happen right before my eyes. Every single day you come in here and you love on my panel, you love on my guests, you love on me, and you support what we do here. And for that, I am forever grateful for you. Make sure that you follow me on any social media platform. All you have to do is look for the same username and logo. Follow me especially on the Big YT and Instagram, Facebook, X, everywhere you are, there I am too. If we have a new update, you know I'm going to bring it to you right here. Please have a blessed night and be kind to one another.